Hey guys, Zane here. I'm going to make this intro quick because I want to get into this with y'all. So, let's talk about the new event and what I've found to be the optimal strategy. First, as I said in my last video, freezing enemies is extremely useful, and in the background you'll see me playing with just water and ice towers. This is some earlier gameplay, so you may not see me abuse all the tips I talk about, but I felt it important to get this video out early, y'all. With that said, the key aspect is planning your composition beforehand. You see I brought ice and water characters to combo with my tower choice of the same, so my characters can proc elemental reactions without messing with my towers. Now, I've tried almost all tower combinations, and although they work, I found the combination of water and ice, if done right, has worked out the best for me. Now, what exactly does done right mean? Well, first, it's important to know that you need a lot more ice towers than water towers. This is because ice has a lot smaller of an AoE at the current upgrade. Now, the next step I can give you is to put either one ice or one water tower near the end, and if someone slips through, switch to a character that has the other element. If you put a water tower, switch to an ice. If you put an ice tower down, switch to someone who has water attacks, and permanently freeze them while your tower takes care of them. This has saved my ass from losing points several times, and setting it up in advance, not when they slip through, is clutch. Now, there's currently an interaction with greatsword users where breaking the freeze effect applies your normal attack damage, and weaving that in when you can, it just makes massive damage differences. Like if you're like a higher level, it can do like 2,000 damage, which is more than even like fire towers. Now, this may or may not be patched soon. We don't know if this is an intentional effect or not, but I made a video on that if you want to check that out. The next tip I have for you is utilize your stage. A lot of the gameplay I've seen just hasn't used these at all. But abilities like breaking the bridge are very cheap, around 40, and they instantly kill units. If things look even slightly bad, just pop it. You're only losing 40 currency, and that's literally pennies past stage 1 or 2. Speaking of stage 1, it's currently one of the hardest part of the stages, because if you level up all your towers to level 4, you can only afford 2 towers during level 1, and the fast druid lad that like speeds on by will go right by your towers if you're not careful with him. I suggest stalling him in any way you can, including melee attacking him to knock him over, or just freezing him if you're running a freeze comp. After that, just build up your kill field of towers, I know how to speak, then use your character abilities to help proc whatever elemental effect you're going in for said field. When you're making your towers and playing your competitions, make sure you know what you're going for. If you put a fire tower and to a freeze comp, you're just going to mess yourself up because it's going to, break the freeze or stop you from freezing in the first place because it'll make another elemental reaction. So as tempting as it is to just put like whatever towers willy-nilly, you gotta have a plan. If you want to have fire towers, that's fine, but put them way in the back where it'll be its own separate killing field with a different element. Another important thing to note is what power-ups to buy. I'm going to rule out buying the harder difficulty for more rewards, not because you don't want to do that, but obviously if that's what you're going to do, you don't need a tier list for what to buy. My rankings are as such, and I'll explain why after. The worst upgrades are the ones that don't affect your towers. Duh. The second worst is the 100% elemental mastery. Third worst is 10% attack speed for a tower. Fourth worst is an extra tower. And all the others are great buys that just differ because of circumstances. Now, the reason extra tower is above the other two is as follows. Assuming you don't have more than 10 of the tower type in question, upgrading the attack speed by 10% is less of an increase than just buying another tower. The same sort of mindset works for elemental mastery, especially with a freeze comp, where you're more focused on getting as many freezes as possible instead of making them do slightly more damage. Now, that's all I've got for you today. Have a nice day, y'all, and I'll make another one of these videos when we get further into the event, potentially even on like a guide to some of the harder stages if they do turn out to be actually challenging. Have a nice day, y'all. Bye-bye.